watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Vegito, the prince of all Saiyans. Make sure you subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and push the like button for me.
Or else you'll be Hakai!
Not Beerus.
You know how this works. Make sure you enable all notifications on the channel and watch the entire video all the way through.
And don't forget to follow UnrealEntGaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
That's enough! On with the video.
As our heroes are now shown desperately fighting to preserve the Grand Priest's request, in being able to keep Merno at bay long enough for the final 3 minutes that are left to expire, that would further allow the Grand Priest to finally step forward in confronting Merno face to face, as with an angered Merno now slowly beginning to lose control alongside his patience, the million-dollar question going forward is, will our heroes be able to somehow in some way keep Merno at bay for 3 minutes, or will Merno somehow in some way find a method to slip on through, in thus having to finally get his revenge by getting a hold of both the Omni Kings and the Grand Priest. Now, before we dive any further into this video, if you are new to the channel and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball related, including its manga, anime, video games, fan animations, fan mangas, and more, in which would also like to be kept up to date with everything in regards to the Dragon Ball Super manga, the Dragon Ball Super anime, Dragon Ball video games, and any and all additional content within the Dragon Ball universe, then I do encourage you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to always be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto the channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are simply excited to see what the future holds for the Dragon Ball franchise. And with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and now let's dive straight into the video. As our story continues following the arrival of the Grand Priest and now informing our heroes along with Merno that the Grand Priest needs 3 minutes in order for the seal to finally be broken, to from there be given the order and finally intervening, and with the Grand Priest then shown addressing one of the Omni Guards, the Grand Priest took it upon himself to inform the guards by telling them, "Mighty Omni Guards, I ask for you to watch over the Omni Kings with your life during this very crucial time. If Merno were to destroy those who oppose him and make his way here, you must stop at nothing than to defend the throne. Am I clear?" "Understood, Minister," says one of the Omni Guards. "I ask for you to defend them at all costs, even when my time expires and I am thrusted into battle. Do you understand? I cannot break the promise that I've given to the Omni Kings," the Grand Priest says. "They will get the entertainment that they were promised, and then I will see to it that Merno's rampage ends with me, as it should. I ask of you to watch over the battlefield and pay very close attention to Merno's every move. And if he were to somehow get past me, then you will use the full extent of lethal force to stop him." To where as we then see how both Mastered Ultra Instinct Vegito and Whis are shown having to attack Merno at the same time, in doing everything they can to keep Merno at bay, Merno went on to address the two by telling them, "You insects just don't know when to give up, do you? You can't win. You will never win. None of you are of any concern to me anymore when my ultimate target lies right behind you." "Not a chance," Vegito shouts. "Why are you so hasty to attack them knowing they need a little extra time until they're ready to destroy you? Is it because you're looking for a quick and easy victory? You have caused too much pain and you cannot be given a clear path to the Grand Priest until the seal is broken," Whis says. But despite having to be outnumbered, Merno was not having it, because as he went on to backhand Vegito across the face, in an act of desperation and rage, Merno went on to shout, "Enough of that mouth of yours! Get out of my face!" "Ugh, get him, Broly," Vegito shouts, as with full power Super Saiyan 3 Broly then being shown having to make his way towards Merno. In not forgetting all of the pain that Merno had caused him, Broly went on to shout, "I'm going to crush you!" To where as Merno went on to catch Broly's punch, he then went on to turn towards Broly and telling him, "Do you know how insignificant you are compared to me, beast? You failed time and time again, no matter how many times you've tried. Pushing back against an immovable object will only go as far as to show you how weak you truly are to make a difference. And then there's you. How did it feel, Beerus asks Merno. How did it feel when you felt my hand tear through your fragile body as you bled to death on the ground? You've got some nerve, Angel, Beerus says. One way or another, you are going to pay for what you've done to Champa and the 7th universe. Pitiful, Merno says. Your delusion still clouds your mind despite forgetting what just took place moments ago when I left you laying face down on the ground bleeding to death. And with Merno then quickly being shown having to turn his body in throwing Broly into Beerus, he then went on to continue, I swear on your lives, when this is all over, I will make sure that none of you pests are ever resurrected again. I will erase all of existence, including the afterlife, and start from scratch as it should be. Now stand aside, Merno shouts. But out of nowhere, to prevent Merno from going any further, Vados went on to interject by attempting to punch Merno and telling him, you're afraid, that's what it is. If you're so sure that your power rivals or exceeds the Grand Priest's, then why are you so fixated to attack him before he is ready? With Merno responding, you witch, you think I'm afraid of him? You think I fear these hypocrites? Don't you ever mistaken me for being like any of you, fool. But even then, despite having to avoid Vados' attack, Mastered Ultra Instinct Jiren and Whis went on to grab onto both of Merno's arms by shouting, then if that's the case, stay right where you are, Jiren says. You will not reach them, Whis responds. You delusional little slaves, Merno says. You filthy, rotten, traitorous little puppets. I said, let go of me! And as soon as Merno went on to power up in blowing both Jiren and Whis away, while Merno's attention was focused elsewhere, Mastered Ultra Instinct Vegito and Ultimate Gohan were then shown charging up for a Kamehameha, with Gohan shown waiting for Vegito to initiate. Vegito then went on to comment, Gohan, on my signal, release everything you've got. Even if our combined attack isn't enough to stop him, as long as we are able to slow him down and keep his attention locked on us, that's all that matters. This angel is beyond anything our wildest dreams could ever imagine, Vegito says. He is every bit as dangerous as he claims to be, and then some. We can't let him succeed. We can't let him win. Are you ready, Vegito asks, with Gohan responding, I never would have imagined to be up against something this extreme. It feels like we're living through an actual nightmare, he says. But what he's done to Pan and Videl, Dende, and the Earth, I stand with you no matter the odds. So what do you think? Should we hit him now, or will he already expect it? With Vegito responding, not yet. He's sharp, but as long as he keeps his eyes on us, then even if our attack fails to do anything, we still succeed. Who would have thought that he'd easily take our fusion on without even breaking a sweat? Wait on my signal. Steady. And with Merno shown having to kick Super Saiyan 3 Kefla in the guts, Gohan went on to chime in, the others are getting torn apart out there. We can't risk blasting him again only for one of our own to be killed. Which is why we have to pick our spots carefully here, Vegito says. Steady. Charge it. May. Ha. May. As even with Merno's sister Margarita having to be shown coming up from behind and choking Merno, she then went on to tell him, you're going to pay dearly for what you did to Lord Belmod. Looks like I can still tag and grab you after all, with Merno responding, unless you plan on breaking my neck, restricting me from achieving my destiny will only result in your own failure once again. You'll meet your end again once I'm done ripping your father apart. And as Merno had gone in throwing Margarita away before he can actually do so, Margarita, before having to be tossed to the wayside, had found an opening and then managing to kick Merno by telling him, you should remember that I'm quick on my feet, Merno. As it was Merno who was then shown having to fly out into the distance, Vegito went on to inform Gohan by telling him, she knocked him back a bit. Gohan, now! As it was right then and there where Ultimate Gohan and Mastered Ultra Instinct Vegito had combined their Kamehamehas in firing it directly at Merno. With Merno not expecting a combined attack from both Vegito and Gohan, the attack then went on to make contact, with Gohan then asking, yes, we got him, a direct hit. But do you think it did anything to him? I can't see anything. I'm not sure, Vegito says, but don't drop your guard. We're not out of this mess just yet. We need more. Quickly, everyone, Vegito shouts, fire at will as soon as you see him, which was exactly what the others had done, because with Merno shown having to exit through the other side, both Golden Majin Buu and Android 35 took notice, with Android 35 responding, hey, there he is. Quickly, Buu, let's go. don't stop firing at him no matter what. Wait until he drops down, Boo says. Boo's ready whenever you are, which was exactly what had then happened, with Merno having to be shown stabilizing himself and responding. Those wretched Saiyans should have been wiped out ages ago when their ancestors were all blown to Kingdom Come. He's landed, Android 35 responds. Now, Boo, fire! Which once again, our heroes had done everything in their ability to make sure they were keeping Merno at bay, because with both Golden Majin Buu and Android 35 continuously shown firing attacks at Merno, Merno was shown in a defensive position and slowly having to walk on forward, as the Grand Priest was also shown having to observe this, as he then turned his attention at the hourglass and responding, only 2 minutes remain. If they can keep this up for another 120 seconds, then my order will be granted. Merno, I hope it was all worth it, as through the smoke we then get to see how Merno's arm had popped out through the smoke and stopping each and every single one of their ki blasts and responding. Enough of these childish games you mortals continue to play. Your attacks stop here. Gohan, listen to me, Vegito says. No matter what it is we try and do to him, it's clearly not having an effect, and there's only one thing that I could think of that might do the trick. But we need time. Do you understand? With Gohan responding, you need time? What kind of an attack are you? Wait. You don't mean... Yes, that's exactly what I mean, Vegito says. But gathering energy from only one universe to use against him won't cut it, so we'll need more, Vegito adds. It's a stretch, but it's the best shot we have at making a difference against him. We'll need everything from everyone, Vegito says. Every mortal, every god, and every angel from across the multiverse. Do what you can, but just don't get yourself killed. I need you, Vegito says. And as Vegito was then shown having to take flight, he then went on to add, I'm not sure how much time I'll need to pull this one off, but no matter what happens, don't let him get close to me. We're about to give this bozo a taste of his own medicine and he won't even see it coming. A multiversal spirit bomb, Gohan asks, but how are they going to be able to collect energy from across the multiverse like that? And as Vegito was then shown having to raise his arms up in the air and now beginning to create the spirit bomb, he then went on to add, alright, it's been a while, but here goes. Steady now. If this doesn't do the trick, then I don't know what will. But it's all or nothing, and we have to put an end to him right now. He's too dangerous to keep around, so just in case if somehow the Grand Priest can't do it, then at least we'll have this as our trump card against him. So here goes. As with Merno shown having to dust himself off, he then went on to further comment, if scratching me was your objective, then congratulations. You've managed to dirty my clothes in the process. Your attempts are useless, and now and just what do you think you're doing, Fusion? Oh, don't worry about us, Angel. We're just testing something out while you have your fun with the Grand Priest in a moment or two. We promise we won't get in your way. As the Spirit Bomb was then shown having to formulate above Vegito, Merno made sure to pay very close attention to this, as Merno went on to comment, a collective ball of energy hovering above him. Now, where have I seen this little move of yours before? But of course, Merno says, this is Goku's little technique. The Spirit Bomb, Merno says. So this is your ace card against me? You couldn't gather enough power to kill me even if it came from an infinite source, Merno says. But then, Merno's instincts had kicked in, with Merno shown having to duck on under with full-powered Super Saiyan 3 Kefla shown missing her kick and responding, you sure love running your mouth, don't you? But then, out of nowhere, Merno had reciprocated in uppercutting Kefla in the stomach by telling her, oh, but I do. It's all the reason for me to rub the salt deep within the wounds as you feel every bit of your failure through each grain. You were never a threat to me, nor were you even on my radar, mortal woman. Away with you, trash. With Merno shown tossing Kefla on over, he then continues, and now, almighty Grand Minister, it's time we settle our differences. But even then, before Merno was then shown having to proceed with his words and then being shown making his move, out of nowhere, Merno was just then able to get out of harm's way, with Vados shown scratching Merno and telling him, you will not touch the Grand Minister, and with Vados then shown making her way towards her brother. In an act of desperation, with Vados shown tackling him, she then went on to continue, are you forgetting that I was one of the very few that was able to hold their own against you when we... But then, Merno was able to quickly then turn the tides against his sister by then being shown slamming Vados on down to the ground by punching her and responding, you held nothing against me. You only stood ahead when I allowed for you to get ahead. You, Vados, you and the rest of them are nothing but liars, Merno shouts. Cowards, slaves, I tried to free you. I tried to liberate existence from both of those ridiculous children. Children, Vados. Mindless little little worms who sit at the very top of power. We are better than them. We are beyond their divinity, Merno shouts. And I try to show you. I try to show all of you. And what did I get for training you, Merno asks, as he is then shown continuously punching Vados over and over and over again. What do I get for attempting to open your eyes to the truth? What did I get in return for helping guide you angels into becoming who you are today? You spit in my face. And for doing such, now I will spit in your face, Merno says. I will spit in all of your faces for refusing to free yourselves from this slavery you call life. Those little Omni Kings could end your lives at any moment, Merno adds. And for what? Because they're bored? Because they have nothing else to do? This was my stance. You chose this life, not me, Merno continues. I wanted to change it, to create a new reality without the rule of law that is overseen by children. So mass genocide was your answer, Whis asks, as he went on to grab onto Merno's hand by telling him, and you wonder why you were thrown out, with Merno responding, let go of me, Whis. You wouldn't know my pain, nor would, but then out of nowhere once again, Margarita came dashing on in by having to be shown kicking Merno in the face by telling him, you were supposed to remain without bias and you instead decided to want everyone dead just because they didn't agree with what you wanted creation to be. And the Omni Kings are loving this because this was exactly what the Grand Priest had promised. As the Omni Kings went on to chime in, they're ganging up on him. Look, he's getting really annoyed. This is so awesome. I've never seen a battle like this. Neither have I, says the second Omni King. They're keeping him from coming up here. See? I'm starting to remember him now more and more, says one of the Omni Kings. I don't think he liked my rules for the multiverse very much. Hey, look! Time's almost up, says the second Omni King. There's only 60 seconds left. Do you see it? But even then, when going back to Merno was then shown visibly annoyed as Merno went on to comment, an angel without bias. How hypocritical of you all to say that I have a bias, when it was your bias in listening to your masters that resulted in you all remaining shackled and without freedom. Maybe I am a bit lustful for blood, Merno says. Maybe my bias stems from watching the weak die many deaths over and over as I listen to them scream. As once again, to make sure that Merno was kept as far away from the Omni Kings and the Grand Priest as possible, out of nowhere, full-powered Super Saiyan 3 Broly had came up from behind and wrapping himself around Merno by telling him, you again. Let me ask you, Beast, do you honestly think that I've been using my full power against you all this entire time? Or was I simply using you all to get what I wanted out of you? You think you know strength, Merno says, as he was slowly then beginning to break through Broly's bear hug. He then went on to continue, here you go. Let me show you what a small portion of what real strength feels like. Shaking? Losing your grip on me already, Merno asks. Everyone listen up, Vegito shouts. Lend me some of your energy. There's no time to waste and we'll need to smash him using everything we've got. Is that the spirit bomb, Golden Majin Buu asks? Will our energy work against him? Well, the only way to find out is to try. Now hurry up and give them your energy, Beerus says. As everyone, including Jiren, was then shown doing exactly that, as Gohan went on to shout, "Aw man, I hope this works." Something's gotta give, Android 35 shouts, especially with all of this power that all of us here are giving to them. It has to, as it was only then where Merno was shown having to fully be able to break free from Broly's grip by telling him, "Silly Saiyan, you are at the very bottom of the food chain that you eat from." As he just so casually went on to kick Broly away, with Whis having to quickly intervene by catching Broly and telling him, "Remain with me, Broly, you will not perish." And as Merno looked up and seeing Vegito formulate the spirit bomb, Merno went on to put this into question by asking, "So that was it? This was all of the power those Saiyan mortals were able to acquire?" Laughable, Merno says. As impressive as that ball of energy may be to you, it would be a real shame if something were to happen to trigger it that causes that bomb to go off and kill you all, he says. You just continue to stay right where you are, Merno says. And with Merno then shown having to raise his arm, he then continues, "I'm sure the Grand Priest will survive an explosion of that magnitude, as I'm sure he'll protect those little brats in the process as well. But you'll all be dead and out of my hair," which only only then leaves them alone with me. As with Merno then getting ready to set off Vegito's Spirit Bomb prematurely, it was only then during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of Merno vs. the Multiverse manga chapter number 30 special then comes to a close. Now this is it. The next chapter is going to be the chapter that the entire world had been waiting for, because up until this point we do understand that the reasoning behind what everyone was doing was to keep Merno as far away from the Omni Kings and the Grand Priest as possible, long enough for the Grand Priest to have the 3 minutes expire and now having to use his full power, which as we know of right now, there are only seconds remaining until the Grand Priest can finally step in. But the question going forward is, will Merno be able to trigger Vegito's Spirit Bomb in time to kill everybody during that process, or will the Grand Priest be lucky enough for time to expire just before this actually happens in order for the Grand Priest to finally be able to step in confronting Merno face to face once and for all, which we are currently working on and redrawing the next manga chapter, which should be that of chapter number 31, which should be available on the channel as soon as we end up smashing our like goal, which this is undoubtedly going to be our biggest like goal to date, which, just to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler, yes, the GP will be in action in the next chapter, which is basically going to culminate the entire story in finally giving Merno what he had been asking for since the beginning, and that is to be granted the opportunity in order to, quote, kill the Grand Priest. But the question is, will he? Now, the like goal for us to meet in order for the next manga chapter to be available is going to be 30,000 likes, a very simple like goal to achieve, because all you really have to do is scroll on down below and give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below, and that's essentially it. It's simple, it's easy and free, and it's going to ensure us in getting closer to the next manga chapter. As of course, I do want to go ahead and issue an apology, because this manga chapter was originally supposed to come out days ago, but as of course you guys may already know, I was sick at the time. I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm trying my best to get better, as of course we now begin to reach the end of the Merno story, which I can promise you this, it's going to be a good one, because this also gave me the opportunity and chance to kind of step on back and read some of your comments. And just to give you guys another little bit of a spoiler here, for many of you that have been wondering about Merno's past and possibly even getting a flashback of what he used to be before this, well, to that you guys are kind of going to get your wish, to say the least. So once again, thank you all so much for your patience, more so than anything else. Thank you all so much for your time. I am very grateful for you guys being here. If of course you guys just so happen to also be new to the channel, then be sure to go on over and smash that subscribe button and click the bell icon to never miss a single video. Again, be sure to also go on ahead and smash that thumbs up button down below. Tune back in for more. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you all so much for hearing me out. Again, I apologize for the small delay. I never asked to be sick, but it just so happened to have occurred that way anyway. So I appreciate you guys, and with that being said, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace!
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Frieza.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate! Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!